Someone stops replying. A message goes unanswered. A relationship ends. Someone pulls away emotionally. And suddenly something strange happens inside your body. Your chest feels tight. Your stomach drops. Your mind starts replaying memories like a broken record. It feels like something inside you is injured. Most people think this is just emotional drama. But neuroscience says something far more disturbing. Your brain literally processes rejection using the same neural circuitry that processes physical pain. In other words, your brain does not treat rejection like a metaphorical wound. It treats it like a real one. Inside your brain is a region called the Anterior Cingulate Cortex. Think of it as part of the brain's pain monitoring system. Its job is simple: detect when something is hurting you. Normally, this region activates when you experience physical injury. Burn your hand on a stove, cut your finger. The anterior cingulate cortex lights up and sends a message through the nervous system. Something is wrong. Protect yourself. But here's where it gets fascinating. Brain scans show that this exact same region activates during social rejection. When someone excludes you, when someone leaves, when someone you care about suddenly withdraws. The anterior cingulate cortex responds almost identically to how it responds to physical injury. From a biological perspective, rejection is not just emotional discomfort. Your brain interprets it as a threat to survival. To understand this, you have to understand something about human evolution. For most of human history, survival depended on belonging to a tribe. If you were rejected by your group, your chances of survival dropped dramatically. You lost protection, resources, cooperation. In other words, rejection historically meant danger. So evolution wired the brain to treat social exclusion as something that must be taken extremely seriously. And the most powerful alarm system the brain has is pain. Pain forces attention. Pain demands action. Pain makes you focus on the threat. So when rejection happens, the brain activates pain circuitry to make sure you do not ignore it. But the anterior cingulate cortex is not working alone. Another powerful brain structure becomes active during rejection: the amygdala. The amygdala is often described as the brain's alarm system. Its job is to scan the environment for threats. When rejection happens, the amygdala detects something dangerous: loss of social connection. The amygdala then activates the stress response. This releases stress hormones like cortisol. Your nervous system shifts into a state of heightened alertness. Your mind begins scanning for answers. What did I do wrong? Why did this happen? How can I fix it? The brain is trying to solve the threat. Now another system joins the situation: the dopamine reward system. Dopamine is often misunderstood. People think dopamine is about pleasure. But biologically, dopamine is more accurately described as the brain's motivation currency. It pushes you toward things that feel important for survival. When you form a strong emotional connection with someone, the dopamine system links that person with reward and meaning. They become neurologically tagged as valuable. So when that person disappears, the dopamine system doesn't just stop. Instead, it creates a powerful signal: recover the lost reward. This is why your brain keeps replaying memories, why you check your phone, why you think about them even when you want to stop. Your brain is attempting to restore the reward circuit. Now enter the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is often called the CEO of the brain. It handles logic, planning, and rational thinking. This is the part of you that says, "It's over. I should move on. I need to focus on my life." But the prefrontal cortex has a problem. It is competing with ancient survival circuits. The amygdala is triggering emotional alarms. The anterior cingulate cortex is generating pain signals. The dopamine system is demanding the lost reward. These systems are older, faster, and more powerful than pure logic, which means your thinking brain is fighting a neurological battle. This is why the brain starts replaying conversations, memories, moments. The hippocampus, the brain's memory center, begins scanning past experiences for clues. It's like a detective trying to solve a mystery. Maybe if I understand what happened, maybe I can reverse it. But often the brain gets stuck in this loop. Pain signal, memory replay, dopamine craving over and over again. Not because you are weak, but because your brain is trying to solve what it believes is a survival problem. This internal battle comes with a cost. Your brain has limited cognitive resources: attention, focus, mental energy. When rejection activates emotional pain circuits, those resources get redirected. Instead of focusing on your goals, your brain keeps returning to the unresolved threat. The prefrontal cortex, the system responsible for discipline and long-term thinking, becomes less effective. This is why rejection can destroy motivation, concentration, and productivity. It's not laziness, it's neurological interference. But here's the powerful part. When you understand the biological mechanism, something changes. You stop interpreting the pain as proof that something is wrong with you. Instead, you realize something important. Your brain is doing exactly what evolution designed it to do. It is reacting to perceived loss of connection. And like any biological response, it eventually recalibrates. The nervous system stabilizes. The dopamine system rewires. New rewards enter your life. But that process only begins when your prefrontal cortex regains control of attention, when you stop feeding the loop. Rejection feels unbearable because your brain is not treating it like a small emotional inconvenience. It is treating it like a wound to survival. Your anterior cingulate cortex signals pain. Your amygdala triggers the alarm. Your dopamine system demands the lost reward. And your thinking brain is left trying to manage the chaos. But once you understand the mechanism, the experience becomes less mysterious, less overwhelming. Because the truth is this: your brain isn't broken. It's simply reacting exactly the way it was wired to. And the moment you understand the system, you gain the power to step outside of it.